Hello friends, good morning. My name is Chandrajit Mukherjee and you are watching in Nutshell. Friends, this is also an important announcement that I've made in the Nutshell and also in my Facebook page that we are about to start our Instagram page called the Polity 101, Polity 101, which will cater to the needs of the students, aspirants who are dealing with the subject polity in their various government examinations. And this will be an Instagram page, so here we will have short videos as well as a few questions related to those videos, so it will be a comprehensive thing. But the only constraint is that with the videos will have to be a very short videos because we have a time constraint in Instagram. Having said that, we will have to complete the entire course, so we will do small videos on each and every topic. We'll divide the topic in various parts so that we can deal with each and every topic in detail, but at the same time the length of the videos will be short. Today we are going to start with the first topic, which is the salient features. And in the salient features, I would like to tell you that we need to understand each and every concept in such a way that we don't have to end up mugging things up. We can understand, we can remember these things just by understanding the core principles. Salient features of the Constitution deals with the characteristic features, the essential features which are there in the Indian Constitution. So you can identify the Indian Constitution just by the features that it is possessed with. So salient features are basically the essential, quintessential aspects of the Indian Constitution. The uniqueness of the Indian Constitution is its content and the spirit. Both makes it unique. In 2007, Ram Chandra Guha, a famous historian and a public intellectual, has written a book called India After Gandhi, and he's mentioned there that India is an unusual country. It's an unusual country because the entire world never believed that with so many religions, so many divisions of caste, creed, India can survive its independence. But it is unusual that we survived. It is good for us, but people outside India, the countries, Western countries, do make a point to go and study on how India survived. So India is an unusual country in that sense. So why it is unusual? Why it is unique? Because of its contents and the spirit. Now there are several salient features that have been taken from the countries outside India. And that is why there are many people who often say that Indian Constitution is a cosmopolitan constitution. Yes, it's a cosmopolitan constitution because we have taken so many things from different countries. At the same time, we have instilled our own spirits, we instilled our own principles in those concepts. So the sui generis factor is very much visible in each and every part of the Constitution. Having said that, the Constitution of India was actually created or made up by the Constituent Assembly, which was created in 1946 by the virtue of the Cabinet Mission Plan, and it took almost 2 years, 11 months and some days rather to finally come to the final draft of the Constitution. It is a very lengthy constitution. It's a very big, lengthy constitution. It's a comprehensive, detailed document. The Constitution of India not only gives the detailed administrative provisions. It not only gives the detailed administrative provisions, but also it also suggests the fundamental principles of governance. So, in other words, Constitution of India provides the power mapping, which institution of the state will have which power. So, the entire power mapping is also there. At the same time, it also highlights the social document. It also highlights the social responsibilities of the state, which is mentioned in the directive principles of the state policy. So the first and foremost thing that the Constitution, once it is made, there were many important judgments and many important amendments that have contributed to the Constitution today, what we have. So their contribution has created the Indian Constitution. In fact, it has completed the Constitution of India in many ways. Say, for example, the 42nd Amendment, the 44th Amendment, the 73rd, 74th Amendment, the 97th Amendment, the 101st, 101 amendments. These amendments, plus, say, for example, the judgments when it comes to Vishakha guidelines by the Supreme Court, when it comes to the Keshav-Nanda Bharati case, when it comes to the Maneka Gandhi case, the judgments, the principles, the ratios given in the judgments, all these things have contributed to the Indian Constitution, to its kind of, they have completed the Indian Constitution in various ways. So also they have instilled some of the features. In fact, they have cemented some of the thoughts and principles through these amendments and judgments. Now, coming to the first salient features, Indian Constitution is a written constitution and it's the lengthiest constitution. You see, the constitutions per se generally are being divided and classified into written and unwritten. You have an unwritten constitution in Britain, whereas we have a written constitution in the American Constitution, United States of America. India is a written constitution, and it is quite comprehensive, lengthy, detailed, and it is detailed because, as I mentioned, it is not only giving the fundamentals of the governance, it is also providing the social document, it is also providing the responsibilities, also provides the power mapping. Plus, another important thing is that there are many conventions and political conventions that the other countries do follow, or the other countries do left that part to the legislature for the ordinary laws. We in Indian constitution, we observe that all those political conventions are also being included in the constitution, the main document. There are mainly 4 reasons for which the constitution has ended up with becoming a lengthiest constitution. Number 1, it is the geographical factor. You see, India is a very vast country, and the constitution of India wants to ensure the aspirations of each and every individual. And see, if you have a vast country, you have various aspirations, different kinds of aspirations, and you have to cater to those aspirations, and therefore you cannot have a straight one-jacketed formula for each and every issues. So you have to cater to different aspects, you have to cater to different problems, different demands. So in that sense, you have to enlarge your jurisdiction, enlarge your scope, and therefore the geographical factor, the vastness, the diversity, kind of forced us to create a lengthy constitution. Number 2 is the historical reason. You see, in Indian constitution, we have almost 70 to 75% of the constitution, of the present constitution, is taken from the Government of India Act 1935. That has been the bedrock for the Indian constitution, and the Government of India Act 1935 is quite a big, bulky act. So that is one reason. So historically, we have taken an act which is itself was a quite bulky act, which was itself a bulky act. Next, the single constitution. You see, India do have a single citizenship. We do not have dual citizenship. We have a single constitution for both center and state. So center and states do follow the single constitution, and therefore the constitution is a lengthy constitution, because the center do not have its own constitution, which could have been reduced to a few articles. So the same constitution is applicable to each and every state, and the same reason comes up that if you want to have a same constitution for different states as well as center, you have to address all these issues. The last one is the dominance of legal luminaries. Legal luminaries in the sense that lawyers are often judged, often prejudiced. People prejudiced, having some prejudiced thoughts about lawyers, that they make things complicated with the jargon of words. This is also similar here, because the Constituent Assembly constituted of many lawyers. So the entire constitution is written by the lawyers itself, and therefore there are many words that have made the constitution quite complex, lengthy, etc. So the legal minds that were applied in the making of the constitution made the constitution complex and lengthy. So this is another point, but I think the first 3 points are very relevant, and that's it for today's lecture. When it comes to the first part of the salient features, we'll be discussing the second part of the salient features, which is the drawn from various states to various nations. We'll be discussing that in the next lecture. So that's it, and I'll be posting one question with respect to this first lecture. Stay tuned in the Instagram channel, and these videos will be posted in the Nutshell YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much.